Avid Knits podcast. My name is Sarah, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry both as Avid Knits. Today is Friday, August 7th, and it is a billion degrees in Houston. It is kind of cloudy. Maybe we'll have a storm roll through. That would be really nice. Is that a paper bag? No, that's not a paper bag. That's an ant pile. Y'all, telling you, it's never ending, this yard. Why do people live in the suburbs? Why do we want to have yards to take care of? This is nonsense. It also needs to be mowed, which is something I was supposed to do today. But then my sister-in-law called me and we talked for like 5 hours. Not an exaggeration. She can cab. And so that didn't get done today. But that's okay. I woke up late anyway, so it would have been a bajillion degrees by the time I got out there to do it. And I've done that a few times this summer. Okay, every time that I mow the yard, I do it in the middle of the day, in the middle of the hottest part of the day, because I'm lovely like that, I guess. So I'm actually kind of glad I missed out today. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. So, hi, if you're new. Hi, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for checking me out. I assume that a couple of you will have come over from the new sweater raffle that I am hosting. I will talk a little bit more about that as we go on. And if you're a returning viewer who's just used to the nonsense, hey, thanks for coming back again. Yeah, so right at the top of the episode, I do want to talk about the sweater raffle just really quick. I host a sweater raffle. This will be my third. And so far it's been an almost monthly thing. My first raffle, we fundraised $900 and we donated that to Know Your Rights Camp by Colin Kaepernick. And the second raffle, we raised another $900 that was donated to True Colors United, which combats teen homelessness in the LGBTQ community. The raffle this time around will benefit the Southern Poverty Law Center, who is an organization that provides legal expertise to marginalized communities and at-risk communities. They are an anti-racism group and an anti-hate group. They run a program called the Intelligence Project, which tracks and lists hate groups and their movements and gatherings, that kind of a thing, to help people stay abreast of what is going on in that side of the world, I guess. So, what is a sweater raffle? So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like any other normal raffle. Normally with a raffle, you will sell tickets and then say, here is this gift basket. I am raffling this. People will buy tickets and whoever wins gets the basket, right? Well, the sweater raffle runs a little bit different. So the way that I like to run it is I like to contact a dyer and a designer team, and I feature a new one every raffle. So my first, second, and third have all had different dyers and designers. These people are volunteer. They volunteer to donate a pattern, and the yarn dyer volunteers to dye up a custom sweater quantity for the winner. So this month we are featuring Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knitworks, who has amazing patterns, and quite a few of them actually, and Allie of Explorer Knits, who has wonderful yarn that's going to go great with any of Caitlin's patterns. It's going to be a beautiful sweater. It's going to be a dream sweater. The winner of the raffle will get to choose a pattern from Caitlin's library and their choice of sweater yarn, weight, and color from Allie. That will all be sent to my sample knitter. Normally it's me, but I was contacted by a group of sample knitters whenever I started this, and so this sweater will be knit by Christina. You can find her on Instagram as How Scotty Knits. And she has very generously donated a slot in her busy sample knitting calendar and has volunteered to knit the sweater for the winner. So the winner will be drawn through random number generator, and they will choose the pattern and the size and the yarn color and all of that. They'll send their details to Christina, and Christina will knit the sweater for them and then mail it off. Nobody that is involved in this receives anything out of it. Everything is volunteer-based. Everything is donation-based. Every dollar that is earned will go straight to the Southern Poverty Law Center or whichever organization we have chosen for that raffle. It will always be an anti-hate and an anti-racism organization here in the US. So the raffle itself, how can you enter? So you can find links in the description box on how to enter. All the details of this are on my Instagram. You can find me as Avid Knits on Instagram if you choose. There is a story highlight for it. But basically, tickets are $3 a piece. There is no limit to how many tickets you can purchase, and every one of them is a chance to win. Now, if you would like to donate to the Southern Poverty Law Center, you want to donate to SPLC, and you don't want the sweater, you can just send me the money for a donation and just stick a note in your donation that you don't want to be counted, or that you would like to donate your tickets to somebody else. And that way you can just add your funds to ours, and we'll just make one big lump donation if that's how you feel comfortable doing it. A lot of people prefer to just send the monies to somebody that they know and have them make the donation for them instead of having to keep track of all that paperwork. You may also please make an independent donation if you don't want to enter the raffle. Don't feel any pressure to need to do so. Please also don't feel obligated to enter the raffle, but if you could share it, if you think you know somebody who would like it, or if you want to stick the information up on your stories or something, that would be really fantastic. That would get us a lot more visibility, and that would be really appreciated. Would you like to, now, if you would like to participate in the raffle, but you're, it's COVID, it's pandemic, and funds are tight, and I totally understand that. If you would like to participate and cannot for any reason, you don't have to tell me your reason. Please send me a DM on Instagram or email me. My email will be down in the thing, and just let me know. And I have a block of tickets set off for anybody who is unable to participate but would still like to. So they will go out in blocks of 3 so that you have a couple chances to win. And what else? I think that's it. I will link everybody involved below. Please show them some love. It's a very generous thing that they're doing. And if you would like to participate in future raffles, please feel free to contact me. I would absolutely love to hear that, especially if you are a dyer or designer of color. And let me know if you're not comfortable with donating a sweater quantity. Maybe you're a really small business and that's really hard for you to do. Hey, reach out to me and let's see what we can work out. Okay? That would be really fun. I would really enjoy doing that. If you have any ideas for really worthy causes for the next raffle to donate money to, please let me know that. Everybody, the more people that we get involved in on this, the more success we will have. And it's been really lovely so far to see everybody participate. So yeah, so that's the sweater raffle. That is going on through the 16th again, and tickets are $3 a piece. So, that's about all I have as far as admin goes. You will also find down below a link of some links for donations for Beirut in Lebanon after their explosion. So, ways you can help for that tragedy. That was horrendous. And then as far as everything else going on in the news nowadays, or for this week rather, I think I'm just going to kind of remind you and encourage you to please get a hold of your state and local representatives and push for change. Keep people accountable, please. And also do your research. Don't look at anything that is going on the news or online, especially when it comes to slander or it comes to negative speaking about certain politicians and or their parties. Please do your own research prior to, at all points, you should be doing your own research prior to believing anything on TV or the internet nowadays, because you can't believe anything you read nowadays. But most particularly this week, there seems to be quite a bit of distraction and manipulation of the media going on right now to take focus off of certain things. And that's all I'm going to say about that this week. I think I'm going to just keep it light. I don't have very much that's nice to say, and this is a knitting podcast, so we will let it go. So I don't have any finished objects for you this week. It's been a crazy week. I've gotten a lot of work done, but I did want to show you the results of a previous finished object. So I talked about this on my last podcast. I had finished the Rattlesnake Tea by Jamie Hoffman, and I had knitted as a commission. And Jamie was so kind, and she sent me actual modeled photographs for my portfolio, which I thought was really, really sweet. She did not need to do that, and I am so, so thankful. So I will post the pictures here so you can see them. And I got to tell you guys, I got kind of teary-eyed. It was so cool to see something that I had knit displayed so beautifully. So the model's name is Tiffany, and I cannot think of her last name right now. I will look it up and I'll put it on the screen here. But aren't these just amazing? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yeah, so I was super, super thrilled to get these. Rattlesnake is a DK weight t-shirt, and it is knit in 4 colors, but you could obviously do it in less if that's not your thing, if that's too much contrast for you. You do have a few spots where you hold, or where you're knitting with 3 colors at a time, but you don't necessarily have to have all 3 colors in hand at one time. Does that make sense? Like, you'll knit 3 of one color, then 3 of another color, then go back to the first color, and then, you know, maybe you'll add in the 3rd color for a few stitches, and then so you're never doing like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're never doing that. So it makes yarn management a little bit more simple, as long as you remember to catch your floats. Yeah, so it was not, and it's not a difficult pattern. It is super, super simple. The cactuses are actually, they're actually done in seed stitch, so they're done in knits and purls, so when you run your hands over them, they're bumpy. Which was absolutely the cutest feature, and I just loved it. I loved every second of the pattern, and it was amazing. So I'm really, really happy that Jamie chose me to do that for her, and I got that experience, and then she was kind enough to give me these wonderful photographs. That pattern will be released on the 12th, so I really hope that all of y'all will go and give Jamie some love. I knit it out of Neighborhood Fiber Company Studio DK, which is absolutely the perfect yarn. So, if you, Studio DK, obviously Neighborhood Fiber Company is an indie dye, so it's a little up there on price. So if that's a little bit out of your budget, a Malabrigo would be super, super pretty. That would be roughly $15 a skein. You could probably do it in Rios, which is their worsted weight, because their worsted weight's a little bit light. Let's see, what else could you use? Knit picks, obviously, would always be a great, great choice. If you're okay with it not being 100% wool, you could, any commercial, Barocco or Cascade or anything like that. Barocco, I know, does a 100% wool. I think it's called fine wool. I know they do a fingering. I'm positive they do a worsted version of it. So yeah, any of those would be absolutely beautiful. You totally don't need to use an indie dye at all. So you can stash bust, you can, if you have a bunch of fingering weight like I do, you can double your yarn. I knit the size 36, and it called for 2 skeins of the main body color and 2 skeins of the dark contrast that goes around the cuffs and everything, and I didn't use both skeins for that. So I had quite a bit of yarn left over, so it would be a pretty decent stash buster for a few of the colors if you chose to yeah, hold fingering weight double, or you might have, I don't know if you'd be able to hold fingering weight double. You have to check your gauge. Check your gauge, okay? All things are possible if you check your gauge. So yeah. I am trying to get to the end of the row on this Quiet Stars cardigan so I can show it to you, because I don't have any other finished objects than that. So that was the only one I wanted to tell you about. And then I have a couple of whips, and like I said, I'm trying to get to the, I stopped right in the middle, right after the front panel, because I'm smart like that, and just left it there, and then was like, let's podcast. And I try to be prepared for you guys. Okay, it doesn't always work out. And then while I was getting this, my neighbor, I live next to a Muslim family, and my neighbor's name is Maha, and she is forever cooking. I tease her quite a bit, but she's super, super generous whenever she's cooking. And so I would say probably once every couple of weeks, she hits me with, have you eaten? And then she provides dinner for all of us without any notice, which is super, super, super sweet. And, you know, we definitely do the same for her. You know, we constantly swapping food. And so she made a spin on biryani. And I'm not sure what it's called. I will put the name of it here. She sent me the name of it, and I just have never had it before, so it didn't stick with me. But I'll put the name here of the dish that she sent us. And so I'm super excited, and it smells amazing. My first work in progress is the Quiet Stars cardigan. So this is the sweater of choice for the winner of my first sweater raffle. So my first raffle featured Locatelli and Julie of Sweet Sparrow Yarns. And the winner's name is Elise, and Elise picked this beautiful, beautiful lace cardigan. So Quiet Stars is lace. It has this giant collar. It's a lace collar. And if you have ever knit one of Hoki's patterns, her lace is so simple. So it's super simple, beautiful, and effective, and it's just a joy to knit. It's a lot of fun. So it's this super wide collar that goes down the front, and so you'll fold it over or under, whatever. I like to fold it under because I like the lace detail a lot. The back of it is a textured stitch. So it's just knits and purls, no big deal. And then it goes down into lace, and I am on the second, I'm halfway through the second increase. I'll have one more increase. I am halfway through the body almost already, you guys. And then I will do some short row shaping at the very bottom. I'll throw some sleeves on it, and I will knit a tie to go around it because it's kind of like it's just really flowy, loose lace cardigan, and you wrap it around yourself, and then you tie it at the waist. There's a belt. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are all yelling at the screen. I know you are. So thank you to those of you who were. It worked. Yeah, so my little stitch marker is totally not keeping my progress at all. It was in the beginning, but it's not anymore. This is a Moonstone progress keeper that I got from Julie in a club colorway. And I think the last time I showed you this, it was like right here or something. So I've done quite a bit, and I'm super happy with it. The yarn is Sweet Sparrow in her Gosling base, which is an MCN. It's a merino cashmere nylon, so it's, oh my gosh, soft. This is the colorway Evergreen, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm knitting it on Chow Goose, Forever Chow Goose. I don't use anything else. I'm on size 5. Yeah. So that is flying. I'm having a great time with it. It is living in the Fat Squirrel bag. This is my Magpie bag. Yeah, and that's about all I have to say about that. I am my self-imposed deadline is August 31st because this was May. I think the raffle was held in May. So obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get the custom dye sweater quantity, and yeah, so now I'm knitting it. It should be done by the end of the month. That's my goal. I don't want to take any longer than that because I don't want them to all start stacking up. My second raffle actually featured Jamie Hoffman, who did the Rattlesnake Tea, and Kemper of Junk Yarn. So that's a beautiful combination too. Kemper had some yarn that got stuck in customs for like over a month. So that is the winner of that raffle was Jennifer, and she knows all about it, obviously. But Jen, if you're watching, hi, I talked to Kemper today, and everything finally came in. So that is all getting done. So I'm super, super excited to see that. She chose the Swallowtail sweater, which is this. I knit this in a sample earlier this year. But this is the sweater she chose. I'm so excited for her. I can't wait to see what her color combination is. And that is not being knit by me either. I had another sample knitter reach out, and that is being knit by lovely Alicia, who lives in Austin, a couple hours down the road from me. All the sweater raffle stuff. I'm super into it today. Fridays are my update days, so I like to touch base with everybody who's been involved in them and make sure that I know where things are, so I can look at my calendar and say, okay, I know where the transitions are. So usually about every Friday I start thinking about that, and so I did all my reach outs today. Everything is going great and smooth, and everybody's happy, so that's awesome. My next work in progress, I have more than one, is the Dublin cardigan. The Dublin, I think it's Dublin. It does have an E on it, but I'm pretty sure it's not Dubline or anything like that. So it's either Dublin or Dubline. I'm not sure. It's this cardigan here. It's a long-bodied cardigan with a really pretty cable panel. Cable panels up the front, and then a stockinette back. And it also has a hood. Guys, it's so cute. Anyway, this is a sweater that I am knitting for Julia Sweet Sparrow. I promise you I talk about other people. We are doing a swap, and so I offered to knit her a sweater. And she chose to have it knit out of this really gorgeous lilac Donegal tweed. This is from Studio Donegal in their soft Donegal. It is 100% wool, and it's got little neps of orange and blue and green and purple and some pinks. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to work with. I'm having a ton of fun. So I finished both sleeves. This is Aran weight yarn, you guys. My hands were hurting from the Quiet Stars from purling back. So I just took a break and I knit 2 sleeves in the round. And they took me a little, like 2 days maybe. Maybe it took me 2 days of knitting. It wasn't even a big deal. And I didn't even knit on them like religiously. Like I just kind of put some length on them. So they're only 14.5 inches, and then they'll join to the body. So that'll be fun. And then I started the body last night, and I knit on it during my marathon phone call with my sister-in-law today. She doesn't watch this, otherwise I would apologize. Not sorry. And so I got the beginnings of the cable panel going. And then for the first cable repeat, the whole body of it is just rib. It's 2x2 rib. So I did you don't need to do this because it's not in the round 1 and because it says just use a regular cast on, but I did a tubular cast on. I used the cast on from most of the Brooklyn tweed patterns for flat tubular. However, the flat tubular cast on from Brooklyn tweed is like a 6-row setup process maybe. I reduce it to like 3 or 4. So anyway, that's going. That's in my Luna Pie Designs bag. I really enjoy these bags. They have like a wire right here, and so you can open it up as a box. And she has some super cute summer ones right now. If I liked summer, I would So anyway, there's that. And then the last thing that I have made any progress on is in my fringe bag, because of course it is. And it is my Hollyberry socks. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply, signature 4-ply in the Hollyberry colorway. And I'm pretty sure this was like 2018's color, maybe 2017. I can't remember. I have one finished, one half. I have a half finished object already, and then I started my second one, and I am almost done with the decreases. Yeah, I'm almost done with decreases for turning my heel. So, my standard stock recipe is 64 stitches on a size 0 needle with a heel flap and turn. Heel flap and gusset, whatever. But I use a mini heel flap adjustment. I think you can find that in Mina Phillips, which is a free vanilla sock pattern. I'll link it below. And that's the heel flap adjustment that I use. So it basically just means that instead of having the standard heel flap, like it's just shorter. And it fits my foot better. I took my Bronwyn out to give it some love because cables, and I didn't work on it. I worked on the sleeves. So, yeah, I'm pretty monogamous typically with sweaters. I am hoping to have the Quiet Stars and the Dublin both finished by the 22nd, because that's the end of Stash Dash. For those of you who don't know, Stash Dash is a summer knit-along that is hosted by the Knit Girls. Knit Girls, 3 L's. They have a podcast. They've had it for like 10 years. It's fantastic. They also host the Super Summer Knit Together, which is a yarn festival, fiber festival. That, a retreat, I guess, a retreat. in Tennessee every year. Obviously, it was canceled this year. But Laura from the Knit Girls is a librarian, and so Stash Dash is the end of school to the beginning of school. So it's over the summer, how far can she get her stash down? And you can go to their Ravelry group for all of the details. I signed up for 10K, so 10,000 meters this year. I am over 3/4. So I was planning on having my Bronwyn and my husband's Redford sweater in to offset that, but then I picked up a couple of commissions, and so I've just done them instead. Being a sweater knitter is really handy during times like this. So I'm really hoping to get those 2 done. Neither one of them is for me, so I would really like to clear my needles of deadline and other people knitting by September so that I can work on something for myself. We'll see if that happens. Obviously, if I pick up a commission or something, then I'll do that too. I'm not in a hurry. It's fine. I knit for myself quite a bit, so I have a lot going on. But I'm like 2 sweaters away from needing to expand my sweater drawer into the drawer next to it. Arbitrary goal, but I'm super excited about it. I really want to do it. And then my girlfriend had a baby 4 months ago, and Ames is, they live in Portland, so she's going to need sweaters this winter, right? And so I have a couple of ideas for things that I would like to do for that. And yeah, I also have a test knit for Ellie of Skein-Deer that I'm super excited to get on the needles, and I have to make a color decision because I can't seem to make up my mind. So that is the end of the podcast proper. I got a couple of things in the mail that I thought I would share with you just for fun. So if you're not into that kind of stuff, I totally get it. And we'll see you next time. Otherwise, if you're interested, I got 2 things of yarn, and then I got something that's not. And this is from Grace Mere Woods. And if you don't follow her on Instagram, you totally should. Some of the things she does, you guys, it's just absolutely unreal. She has some snake and like Ouroboros and stuff like that, and it's just fantastic. She has beautiful, beautiful artwork. This one is a spider's web, and she has a collection kind of in this style called Cosmic Creatures, and one is a raccoon, and there's a mouse, there's a bear, and they're just super ethereal and beautiful. The detailing in them is absolutely beautiful. I hope that this doesn't end up having a glare. I have a tripod. My husband bought me a tripod last weekend, so I got it like the day after I podcast, of course. So I don't know that this will glare. If it does, I'll insert a picture so that you can see it. Her name is, I don't know if it's Chimera or Chimera, Wakna. And so here is her card. And then I ordered this beautiful print of the crows. I love ravens. I really, really enjoy corvids. They're super intelligent, and they're beautiful, beautiful birds. I always love the color play. Let me see if maybe... I always love the color play in their feathers. So anyway, I got that, and I need a frame for it. The standard frames I use in my yarn room for my hand painted and handcraft, the last couple that I've gotten have been 9x9. You can look back through my feed or my videos to see that. I'll link it below. They're done by an artist named Jada Rose, and she's got beautiful stuff too. But this is only a 5x5. So it's a lot smaller than the other pieces I have. Which is kind of disappointing because it's so pretty and I want it to be like. I might see if she will offer a custom print size, and then get a second one of these or something. She has a couple with ravens that I think are really beautiful. So anyway, that's my first, I don't want to say acquisition, that seems kind of weird, but thing I received. That's the first of my purchases. My second one is not going to be a surprise to anybody from this yarn, from this podcast. This is Nomatic yarns, obviously. This is Christmas. So the colorway is called Home for Christmas. This is a 50-gram skein. So I did have to wait for this to be custom dyed, which is fine. This is her trusty sock, which is a 75-25. So it's 231 yards for 50 grams. Like I said, it's called Home for the Holidays. And I have another winter colorway from her that I'm waiting on, but I'm trying to be patient. So these will be my next pair of socks. Since I knit shorties, it takes me literally exactly 50 grams to get a pair of socks. So that'll be fun. I will knit these with 62 stitches. So I will have 32 across the top of my foot and then 30 on the bottom of my foot and or on my sole. And then a heel flap and gusset, and I get shorty socks with a rolled cuff, so like a Rose City Rollers where it just folds over. I get that for 50 grams. I love her self-striping. She's my favorite self-striper. I have a lot of her yarn. And then my last thing that I wanted to share with you is Julie of Sweet Sparrow, because this is always the fangirl podcast for her. She's my bestie. She has started I have her Celtic Club colorway, or her Celtic Colorways Club, and she started a foraging club. So I jumped on that because that's what friends do. And she sent me this gorgeous skein. And it's just creamy with some blues and some browns and some greens and yellows, and there's a little bit of purple, but I don't know if that's because of a dye break or if she actually intended to put purple in it. I just love this. I love any kind of a naked yarn with speckles. I really love how delicate they look. This one is on her House Wren base, which is an 85-15 merino nylon tweed. And it is 438 yards per 100 grams. And her little inspo card that she sent says, oyster mushrooms are both fascinating and delicious. They grow on hardwood trees in shelf-like formation, and they get their name from their oyster-like shape and color. So she says that while I've been lucky enough to find these while foraging in the woods, they can also be cultivated. This was first done as a subsistence measure in Germany during World War I, but they're now cultivated and foraged all over the world, appearing in a lot of East Asian cuisine. Oyster mushrooms are also high in protein, making them a popular choice in vegetarian dishes. Weirdly, though, oyster mushrooms themselves are not vegetarians. While they eat mainly decomposing wood, oyster mushrooms are one of only a few mushrooms that can actively lure and eat prey, namely nematodes. And here's where things get really wild. Oyster mushrooms can also eat oil, both petroleum itself and petroleum products like plastic. Certain chemical bonds in these products are similar to those in wood, and the mushrooms are able to process them in the same way. This knowledge is rapidly gaining popularity, with similar mushrooms being used to clean up oil spills in the Amazon and radiation in Fukushima. The small amounts that I have found in our woods, though, have been sautéed with butter. The Progress Keeper for this month features white agate. I chose this stone because the white color, matte texture, and subtle striations reminded me so much of the white oyster mushrooms that I have foraged this summer. White agate is thought to be helpful with abdominal issues, releasing anger and frustration, and finding peace and clarity in difficult situations, and we could all use some of that. And there it is. Super pretty. I love the matte. So yeah, that's my little blurb for the day. And my little fangirl moment. Hi, Julie. Yeah. Julie recorded a podcast yesterday. And I knew about it. And then she went to upload it, or she went to export it. And then her Adobe Premiere crashed. And then it took another 3 hours to export. So basically I got a notification that it went up like as I was on my way to bed, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna sit down with my bestie and I'm gonna have some coffee and I'm gonna watch my thing. And then my sister-in-law called. By the time she got off of the phone with me, I basically had enough time to shower and put on some eye makeup before my husband walked in from work. And so him and my son are in the garage doing workouts, and I'm missing a workout to record this podcast. Hi guys. So yeah, so I think that after I get done with this, I'm going to edit and knit a little bit on my sweater, and I will upload, And then tonight, I think I'm going to send everybody to bed early, and I'm going to sit down with my friend and catch up on her podcast. If you like very soothing podcasts, you will very much love Julie. She lives in New York on the Pennsylvania border, across next to the Delaware River. So a lot of her intro footage and stuff is very woodsy and calming and very wonderful. Yeah. Other than that, I don't have that much to report. I guess I think I'm gonna go. I hope that all of you have a beautiful weekend and a lovely week. If you are overwhelmed and stressed, take a break. Be kind to yourself. And remember, something that Julie said to me a little bit ago is that to remember to make sure that your efforts are effective, because simply, she calls it doom scrolling, so simply immersing yourself in bad news and feeling bad is not actual effective change. So, or something like that. Basically, like, you don't have to feel bad to prove to yourself that you're caring, or that you're involved, or that you're up to date. Okay, so yeah, take a break if you need one, and then start again. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys. I will see you next time.